I'm going to be one of your co-hosts for this evening. Tonight I'm standing here at the Islamic Center of Southwest Ontario, who's hosting a Syrian refugee dinner to welcome our newcomers into Canada. I'm here with Raya Shabar, who's been one of the countless volunteers who have been spearheading the Salam Donation Center. And I have to say, before she speaks, that she has been there day and night to really assist with the Syrian not only with the Syrian refugees, but the government-assisted refugees as a whole. Raya, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First off, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Tell me, how is the Salam Donation Center?
It's incredible. It's an overwhelming feeling of joy and generosity. Everyone, Londoners and abroad, have come together to make it happen. People just want to come in and help in any way, whether it's physically, monetary, donating items, donating their time. They're there. They want to help. They're excited. They're eager. And without the volunteers and without everyone as a whole, the Salam Donation Center could not, take off like it has, and it could not be, an ongoing process and a success as it's been. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, Raya, a quick question. How did you come up with the name Salam Donation Center?
Actually, it's funny. We were trying to, brainstorming a bunch of names, and we thought of some, and then we thought, well, the whole purpose of this is salam means peace. In Arabic, it's peace, and we thought, what better way to explain to people in a simple way what this is all about. And it's all about peace. It's all about unity. It's all about, working together. And it's just a simple, clear-cut name that I think explains it all.
Tell me, you've been there so many times, day in and day out, okay? And you've also been on call with regards to pickup times and so forth. Can you share with us one profound incident that made you think that, you know what, regardless of everything that's been happening, this is worth it?
The children. The children coming in, seeing there's toys. We have everything at the donation center, from clothes to toys to houseware items. So, when the kids come in and you see the smile and they see the toys and you see the smile on their faces, and they sit and they play together, and you talk to them and you ask them their names, and they're so excited to be there, and kids are so resilient, and it's kind of, I don't know, easy for them, but to put everything behind them, and honestly, you see their faces, you see that they're going to have, inshallah, a bright future coming to Canada. They're happy, they're playing. It makes it all worth it at the end. To help these children, to help their parents, and to see the smiles on their faces, honestly, makes every minute worth it.
Now tell us, is there anything that's needed at the Salam Donation Center?
So kitchen items are always needed. It's the first thing. These people some of them have not cooked or had a home-cooked meal in months, haven't been able to cook in their own places. So the first thing they do when they enter their homes, they want to cook. They just want a home-cooked meal. They want, so our kitchen items are always in demand. Pajamas and underclothes. We ask for pajamas, underwear, socks, clothes, any kind of undergarments, all new, of course. Those are the most, needed items and the most constant items that are needed.
Raya, honestly, on behalf of the community, we honestly don't know how to thank you for this selfless act and your unconditional devotion towards the center. You've made things so much easier for us as an organization, but also in terms of the community. I think you're one of the pillars, you're one of the beacons that needs to be noticed. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say, honestly, I speak for everyone. It's not one person. It's not a small group of people. It is a community effort. Everyone is thanked. Everyone is, everyone, you can't mention everyone's name, but everybody that's volunteered, whether it's once or several times, is all a part of this, and they've made it come together. So we thank everybody, for coming as a whole together and making this happen. So
thank you so much, Raya.
Thank you.
We will continue with the event after a short break.
Okay, we continue in the Muslim View, and once again, it's a pleasure being with you today, especially here we are at the Islamic Center of Southwest Ontario, and with us we have now Abid Al-Fatah. He is the Imam of the Oxford Mosque. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Imam, tell us how you perceive this.
Well, I think that it's really important that first impressions are everything, and we want to be able to show our newcomers that are coming from overseas how welcoming our city and our country is, to help them to become more integrated into Canadian society by being who they are and retaining their identity, whatever it may be, if they're Muslim or otherwise. But the idea here is we want them to feel welcome to their new home. And we want to be passionate about it so that they have a sense that really this is their home, their new home, in spite of all the difficulties that they're going through, but that they can take comfort that they have a community here to support them. They have a community here to walk with them through these difficult times and through this period of adjustment, but at the end of the day that they feel comfortable being with us and amongst us as one community.
Imam, I know you've been closer with a lot of these newcomers, and they've probably been talking to you about their feelings and how they're trying to adjust to all this situation, this new life here. Why don't you tell us something about that? How they're feeling, how you feel about it?
Well, I mean, it's never easy. Any period of transition, there are always going to be challenges with it. They're coming to a completely different environment, a completely different setting, a new culture, new language. And especially in light of the trauma that many of them have actually suffered and gone through. And even their relatives who are still continuing to suffer and to go through trauma, it's not an easy circumstance or situation to be in. But the idea here is to try to be more optimistic and to look to the better side of things, that in spite of the difficulties of our circumstances, to try to be more positive, and that we're able to work towards the better good for everyone, for our newcomers here, and at the same time also for our brothers and sisters who remain under straitened circumstances overseas.
Okay, and talking about that, we know these guys are just here probably a month ago, and they're having still going to the actual process of settling and understanding where they are right now, no? But how you feel them? Are they happy? How the feelings?
Well, I think that, just for the people that I've actually spoken to, that there is a sense of gratitude and gratefulness for the most part, that they're appreciative of the welcoming hand that has been given to them in order for them to establish a new life, a new beginning for them. So in that sense, that they have a sense of comfort. Of course, their hearts and minds will still remain with their families back home or with their relatives and, what's happening back in Syria and whatnot. But, we're trying to do whatever we can to help them feel a little bit more comfortable and to be here at home.
And how you feel Canadians?
For the most part, Canadians are wonderful in terms of their welcoming. We have so many people that are putting in so much effort to help them, feel welcome, to help the newcomers in whatever way that they can, and they're volunteering everything that they can from their time and from their money and from all sorts of different aspects, and they're very passionate about it. And so, we thank all of the Canadian people. We're all Canadians, really, and we're all working together in this effort. Really, it's unprecedented. I haven't seen anything like this in Canada, and I was born and raised here, but I haven't seen anything to this level in terms of the unity and the passion of the working together for such a good cause and for the betterment of these people's circumstances. And that's something that really is what I find makes this country so wonderful and beautiful. So really hats off and a big thank you to all Canadians who have helped to allow our brothers and sisters, the newcomers, to get adjusted here in their new home.
Okay, there you go. It's Imam from the Oxford Mosque, and as you hear him, he is so important first of all, to thank all Canadians who have been helping all the newcomers, the refugees, Syrian refugees. And thank you very much, Imam, for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're going to go for a little break, and when we come back, we continue in the Muslim view. Continue in the Muslim view. It's a pleasure again having you with us, and with that we have now Peter Frahiskatos. He's an MP for London North Centre.
That's right.
Welcome
nice
to our show.
Again. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Good to have you here, Peter. What is going on right now with the immigrants, the newcomers that are bringing from the government?
Well, I think tonight is an example of what's going on. We have refugees from Syria, newcomers. I think that's the proper term to use, who are settling in this country. I'm quite proud of that policy. It's a policy that's based on compassion. It's a policy that's based on responsibility. We've opened our hearts here as Canadians and accepted refugees from Syria fleeing war, fleeing terror, and they're looking for a new life. At the same time, we've gone through the responsible security checks that are necessary. I think it's a great policy, and I'm very excited to be a member of the governing party that's enacted it.
Yeah, that's how you found this meeting today.
This was great. This was a wonderful opportunity. In fact, right before we started speaking, I met a family that came yesterday, that just arrived yesterday. And for me, it's really difficult to describe the emotions because they have seen so much bloodshed, so much that we can't even fathom as Canadians because we're so lucky to live in this beautiful country. They're here now. They're looking to make a contribution, and they will make a contribution. Integration will take time. It will take time. There's no question about it, but that will be a success as well. We've seen in other cases, the Vietnamese boat people, for example, they or their children who came in the late 1970s fleeing war in Vietnam, settled here, made a great contribution. They became teachers, lawyers, doctors, engineers, artists. I see no reason why the Syrian refugees, the Syrian newcomers, will not be able to make the same kind of contribution.
I completely agree with you. Well, now, what is going to happen? You were telling me behind cameras that the government is almost getting to the point of the number of refugees that were coming?
That's right. We've talked about 25,000 refugees as the target, and that's what we're seeing. We're going to reach those targets. It is really a policy that our government, and in particular Minister John McCallum, Minister of Immigration, has worked hard to enact. This is a national project, though. This is not a government project. And by that I mean we have many partners here in London and across the country who are working together to make sure that this integration is a success. We have settlement agencies, for example, who are working very, very hard. We have church organizations who are working very, very hard. We have mosques in this city in particular who are working hard. And of course, different levels of government are collaborating. And we're working together because this is the right thing to do. This is what we need to do in this country. We have to be compassionate, we have to be responsible, and we have to work together.
Peter, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you with us.
My pleasure.
Okay, we continue the Muslim view, and we are here with Sally. She is the head of the kitchen at the Islamic Center of Southwest Ontario. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Sally, we knew a secret that you, all the ladies of the kitchen, gave the food and cook it and work it out, all what we saw today in for the welcoming for the Syrian refugees.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
What happened when we had the first meeting, before the refugees came, we had a meeting at the London Muslim Mosque. And when I heard they were coming, I thought it was a good gesture that we could do a welcoming dinner for them. So I said to the mosque that we will do a welcoming dinner for the refugees when they come into London. I came and I spoke to the ladies in the kitchen, and they all agreed to put up the money so we can fund the dinner completely all on our own.
I don't know what to say. What happened?
So we went to different merchants. We alone didn't do it. We had the help of Dirar Fine Foods, who donated the hummus for us. We had somebody donated the sweets for us, and we had the Green City vegetable people donated the vegetables, because they all wanted to contribute towards it, seeing that we wanted to do everything.
So, how you feel today?
Very good. I felt so good when I saw the people coming. First, I was very worried we would not have enough food, but then afterwards I said, we cooked for a big amount of people, so we decided to cook for 400 people. We had lots of food remaining, and there's a few families that we know of, refugees that we are sending doggy bag home for them.
Okay, and so you feed all those people today just to welcoming them.
Just to welcome them and make them feel comfortable and feel at home.
Why?
Because we want them to feel at ease. We want them to make them comfortable and think that this is their home now. They have adopted this country, and I would like them to feel that this is part of their country.
You are so sweet.
Thank you.
And I personally have to thank her. She's always taking care of everybody here at the Islamic Center. And I don't know, somebody told you this before or not?
What?
That you are the soul of this center?
Well, I don't pay attention.
No?
No, I hear it, and I don't pay attention.
But is the truth?
Well, for they just say it. I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know how people feel if I welcome them or if I'm a troublemaker.
You're a troublemaker.
Yes,
Why?
I've always been a troublemaker.
Why?
Why? Because I get involved in everything and I stir the pot.
Okay. That's so nice. Nani, thank you very much. And thank you in the name of everybody who was here today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You have a very, very big and nice heart.
Thanks. Somebody said that to me, cold hands, warm hearts. I always have cold hands.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go for a small break, and when we come back, we continue at the Islamic Center.
From those countries infested with violence and terrorism and bring them into your midst and threaten the peace and security of your own country. I said it is these very people who are suffering the most from violence and terrorism. And that is why we are welcoming them in our midst, because they will bring peace and security into our homeland.
With us, we have our very special guest and very good friend of us, Dr. Munir El Qasim. Doctor, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Always nice to be with you.
Thank you very much. Our pleasure too. Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit, what is this all about? I don't mean, we know there was a dinner, a welcoming dinner, but what's the insight of this?
Okay, this is just a part of a whole of what is happening in Canada these days. Everybody is excited from Vancouver to St. John. We know that Canada is based on foundations of caring for others, helping others to establish peace in their homeland. But until then, until peace is established, it is our duty to welcome those people who are suffering. And we know what is happening in Syria and many other places of the world. So the government pledged to welcome to start with 25,000 Syrian refugees, and many have already started to come, and London is fortunate to be home for many families from Syria. So tonight at the Islamic Center, we are trying to bring them, to break the ice, and say that you're at home now. You have nothing to worry about. You can enjoy a clown making balloons for you. You can enjoy face painting, and you can enjoy a nice meal without having the interruption of bombs and weapons and fear. And especially you could see that the kids, if you noticed, were quite energetic, running back and forth, and we didn't want to stop them. Free, because this is the bottom line, to enjoy freedom. Canada is the country of freedom. Canada is the country, dare I say, one of the few left in the world to establish a model of living for human beings. So London, Ontario, and I'm a little biased, everywhere I go in Canada I say London is the best city in Canada.
I agree.
So people came to London, Ontario, and we wanted to tell them you're at home, welcome, and we would like to help you as much as we can.
So yeah, we were really glad to see how everybody was smiling. There was a sense of calm and peaceful. And yeah, you can see a little bit of stress on their faces, but it's a stress not from this moment. It's the stress they bring him back.
Yes, I want to tell you, I was so touched, and I mentioned it in my talk, that as I walked to this hall, I noticed a family seemingly of European descent, holding little Syrian children, and one of them was sleepy, so the man was holding the baby on his shoulder, and you couldn't tell that this person who has sponsored the family is not the actual father of that little boy. And I wanted to stress, and I said, this is Canada. You know, this is the model we want to show the world, that we are not doing it artificially. We are doing it from the bottom of our heart. We would like to be genuine in saying, if they were suffering, it is our duty to do something to reduce the suffering in their hearts. And that's what we tried to do tonight. My daughter is a settlement worker for Syrian refugees, and she told me a story that touched me, and I will never forget it all my life. A sponsoring family welcomed the Syrian family that came to them. They couldn't find them a suitable apartment in time. So what they did, they vacated their own apartment. They went to a hotel and they gave them their own apartment until they could find them something suitable. What does this say? When my daughter told me this, I was crying. I said, this is the country I chose as home. You know, so we have to be proud to be Canadian.
So there you go. I think the message is very clear. So, Dr. Munir, thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for capturing, you know, the liveliness of this moment. Thank you.
It was our pleasure. And yeah, again, all of this is a message for all of us. It's something we can do, and we all have that piece of heart inside.
Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, Rafat Hussein, and we hope to see you back next week.